Okay.
Okay, take a short device for the last chapter on the chapter 9. Chapter 9, okay, so last week we talked about a couple weeks, 2 weeks ago. The last week we talked about the one of the great disciple of the Lord Buddha, that Mahakassapa. So he is the one who played an important role in preserving the teaching of the Buddha after Buddha passed away, and he had a special kind of ordination. And last week a couple of weeks ago, we talked about the different kind of ordination that exists in Buddhism, right? So there's how many kind of ordination did you remember? In the Buddha time, and still the kind of ordination that we still practice today, the monks still practice today. Anyone remember?
8 types.
2, 3. 2 type, mana?
2
2
types.
kinds. 2 kinds or 3 kinds. The
So
first one is ordained by the Buddha, right? Ehi Bhikkhu Upasammatha. And then Yatti. Very difficult to call the name. Yatti Tut. Yatti Tut. Yatti Tut.
We don't have to. You don't have to remember the name because it's quite difficult. Mostly
Yes.
it's written in Pali, and here it's not a very just to let you know. I show you the different type of ordination to let you know that actually becoming a entering monkhood or becoming a novice, there are many different ways in the Buddha time. And the first type of ordination that the Buddha gave out is called Ehi Bhikkhu, which is the kind of ordination that the Buddha ordained for the monk himself. And later on, he no longer ordained anyone. So he allowed the monk, the Sangha, to arrange the ordination. As came to be a different kind of ordination that he allowed the Sangha. So we have a we call ordination ceremony. Okay, so this is some quotes from the previous chapter. Mahakassapa is regarded as enlightened disciple, being foremost in what? What is he foremost of? Mahakassapa.
Tudong.
Tudongka.
Tudongka.
And Tudongka. So last week we mentioned about 13 kind of Tudongka. That's any monk or anyone would like to practice a special, we call ways of training oneself to hasten the practice by following the Tudongka. And Venerable Mahakassapa, is well known in being foremost in Tudongka. Which one? Learning, ascetic practice, super normal power, and wisdom. Which one? What do we call in another name of the Tudongka?
Ascetic ที่ไม่ใช่เป็นพวกไม่ใช่ super normal learning
Tudongka, which explanation is close, close to Tudongka? Not. Anyone have you can okay? Yes. Yes. B.
C.
C, super normal power.
I think it's I chose B.
B, right?
B
So
B.
the
B ascetic practice.
ascetic practice. So the most close explanation and meaning, well, one translates the term tudongka. It would be ascetic practice. So it's not a kind of torture the body like the Buddha did. It's not about stop eating food. So it's not that extreme. But a kind of attentive monk training is a kind of optional. It's not a compulsory that you have to practice when you're a monk. It's like an option that if you would like to hasten your practice and expect to see the progress, you can apply the Tudongka. And Venerable Mahakassapa is foremost in this way, in the ascetic practice. Pitch, number 2, the Ovata Patimokkha. Outline a master plan for what? A, becoming a Buddhist. B, ordination. C, the first sermon of the Buddha. D, propagating Buddhism. So what is this about, the Ovada Patimokkha, that the Buddha he taught, explained to the monk on the day that all the 1,250 monks gather on the full moon day. And what the special thing, special factor that happened on that day? Anyone remember? Ovata Patimokkha.
All the appear without pre-arrangement.
Pre-arrangement. Okay.
And
one.
They are all they are all have they all been ordained by Buddha? No.
Ordained by the Buddha. All of them ordained by the Buddha.
It's correct? It's correct? Oh, okay.
Yes, that's one of the 4. And number 3?
Yeah. It's number 3, third one.
Without arrangement, without appointment, before they come to
the third one is what? Wait,
and all the monk that came on that day, is the monk that ordained.
Arahant? Is Arahant?
Yes,
is it?
all of them were Alahanda monk, already attained supreme enlightenment.
Yes.
And what about number 4? Yeah, so the Buddha gave out the teaching that's called Ovata Patimokkha. That is the
all the precepts. I mean, there is Sankha, Dhamma, and Buddha, Sankha.
That's a triple gem.
Triple gems.
Yeah, a triple gems.
Yeah, so Ovata Patimokkha, it's the propagation. The Buddha gave out a plan to propagate the teaching, and that is the core. It's like a core teaching, and the core teaching of Buddhism. And he outlined like what we oftenly heard in the Ovata Patimokkha is that Sappapa Pasa Akaranang. So avoid from all evil. Kusalasu Pasambada, to do good or practice generosity, or practice the wholesomeness. And Satchita Pariyotha Panang, to purify one's own mind. And there are also many other details on the Ovata Patimokkha. So this is the when all the monks came on that day, the Buddha gave out the we call it the master plan, to propagate, to spread the teaching, to let all the monks know that this is the outline, that when monk go to travel, you have to keep this in mind and propagate based on this outline. So that's it. The fourth thing, the fourth factor that happened in the day we call, what is another name of the day that the Buddha gave out Ovata Patimokkha? Do you remember?
Is it
Maka
Makapuja?
Buddha Day.
Oh,
Yes.
Maka.
Maka Buddha.
Makapuja. Yes.
Exactly. Maka. Maka actually,
Makapuja.
this it derived from the Hindu culture previously. Maka means is a name of the February. So it's a day that in Hinduism people will we call worship to the moon. It's a kind of big gathering. So in other religion, they also perform their ceremony, to worship to the gods and worship to the Shiva and things like that. But in the Buddha time, so at that time, all the monks who used to follow the other religion, normally they used to practice and do this kind of worshiping, and one day enter and become a Buddhist monk. So they came to see the Buddha and to listen to this master plan, which called Ovata Patimokkha. So, and later on, the Buddha actually at that time they will have this kind of meeting every 15 days, half month, but later on the Buddha just let the Sangha to perform this Ovata Patimokkha in the meeting by themselves. And later on this ceremony I keep practicing. So today we call Patimokkha chanting, which is every half month. The Buddhist monks have to gather in the ordination hall to recite the monastic regulation. We call Suat Patimokkha chanting. All right. What does Chatulongka Sannibbata? And this is the name. It's a name that's people call in the Maka Puja Day, Chatulongka Sannibbata. So did you remember from the last week what Chatulongka Sannibbata means? The onion of four virtue, the onion of four principle, the onion of four factors, the onion of four elements.
C.
Four factor. C.
So
Union
C,
of four factor.
and the union of four factors. Okay. Chatulongka Sannibbata is occur on Vesak Day, Maka
No.
Puja Day, Asalaha Day, Katina Day.
Makapuja
B.
Day.
The B, Maka Puja Day. Which one is not relevant to Maka Puja Day? Okay. A, all the attending disciples were Alahanta, and all the Alahanta disciples were bhikkhus, ordained by the Lord Buddha himself. C, the 1,250 Arahanta disciples did not make previous appointment to arrive on the same day. The Buddha gave Dhamma lecture called Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta. Which one is
D.
not relevant?
D.
D.
D dog.
D dog,
D.
yes.
All right, so this is the from the last chapter that's we study, and let's see today we will move on to chapter 10. Chapter 10.
อืม
Okay, the chapter 10. So previously the Buddha, most of the time he is staying in the Makata country. The the clan, the kingdom that King Bimbisara ruled. Now he while staying and spreading the Dharma and teaching to the people, on in the kingdom, he always go and when he traveled to other place, he always came back to the Makata and in the Weluana, the bamboo glove. So in this chapter, we're going to explore his life now. When he went back to teach his relative. So it's time for him to go back to propagate the teaching, and his kingdom. The journey to Kapilavatthu. So Kapilavatthu is the capital city of the Sakaya clan that ruled by King Suddhodana. So there's many important event happened during the Buddha staying at the Kapilavatthu. And that's so many Sakaya prince, became monks, enter monkhood. So we're going to exploring in this chapter. Okay. Let's take a little pre-test before we go and study in this chapter. How many times did King Suddhodana send his envoy to invite the Lord Buddha back to Kapilavatthu?
10 times.
How many times? So this is
10
kind of
times.
quite in detail, 10 times, right?
Yes.
So King Suddhodana, after he heard that the Prince Siddhartha already became the Buddha, so he try and attempt so many times to invite, to have his son back to the city, but he failed so many times, and still the last time that he has to send one of the high rank officer to invite the Lord Buddha. Okay, who is the leader of the last group of the envoy that's to invite the Lord Buddha back to Kapilavatthu?
การุทายี
So the Galudayi were his playmate when he was younger, right? And they played together when they were young. So that is the last, the leader of the last group of the envoy. Then previous all the 9 groups that came to invite the Buddha, they just forgot to invite the Buddha, because after they had a chance to listen to the Dharma, their mind just fled from the distinguished from the defilement, and they asked to become a monk, but the Galudayi didn't forget his mission, that he have to invite the Lord Buddha back to the Kapilavatthu. Okay, let's see and explore some of this in detail. Who is the first Buddhist novice monk in Buddhism?
Rahula, the son of the Buddha.
The first Buddhist novice monk is the Buddha's son, named Rahula. So do you remember what Rahula means?
ไก่ภาษาอังกฤษอะไร
It's called feather, right? It's kind of crab, nobody called feather in English. So there's a term of Rahula that he proclaimed when the prince Rahula was born. Okay. The journey to Kapilavatthu instruct his relative. Okay, so let's take some recap in the previous chapter about the Veluwana or the bamboo glove, the first temple in Buddhism. Yeah? So this is some, every time when the Buddha, he traveled and teaching people, he always came back to the bamboo glove, the Veluwana, the first monastery in Buddhism. Yeah? That's donated by King Bimbisara. Okay, so this is the beginning from this chapter. Now he would travel from here to Kapilavatthu. So King Suddhodana invitation. So the King Suddhodana, after heard that his son already attained supreme enlightenment, so he sent an envoy to invite the Lord Buddha to come back to the city. So it's been 6 years after his son gone, and the king sent the high rank officer to invite the Lord Buddha. But all the envoy that he sent to invite the Lord Buddha, all after they listen to the Dharma teaching, the Dharma lecture from the Lord Buddha, they just enter monkhood, and all attain enlightened. And they didn't tell the Lord Buddha to invite the Lord Buddha to go back to Kapilavatthu. It happened for 9 times. So that's the King Suddhodana what failed to invite his the Buddha back to Kapilavatthu. So, but it was successful when the King Suddhodana sent the Galudayi. So Galudayi was a playmate of the Prince Siddhartha when they were young. So, but Galudayi he also know that if he had a chance to meet the Buddha, he would have ordained and become a monk too. So before he leave, he asked the king, so can I become a monk if I go and see the Buddha? And the king just allow that. Okay, so if you would like to enter monkhood, you can do it as you priest. Then the Galudayi keep that in mind and went to invite the Lord Buddha. So when they were there, when Galudayi and with the group of the envoys, that's and their mission is to invite the Buddha. Then Galudayi, he didn't forget his mission to invite the Lord Buddha, and after became a monk, so he invite the Lord Buddha back to the Kapilavatthu. And the Buddha accept the invitation and plan to travel back to the Kapilavatthu. So it is said that the Buddha and with his the monk disciple, totally to 20,000 monks travel back to the Kapilavatthu. It said that it took 2 months from Veluwana, from the Makata going to the Kapilavatthu. And the Buddha, when the monk and the Buddha, when they arrived in the Kapilavatthu city, they didn't stay in the palace. They just stay outside, and the place that they're staying is called Negro Parama. It's a park, for the king for pleasure. So that place is quiet and peaceful, and then the Buddha and the king arranged this place for the Buddha to stay. And this is the I do a little research. I also would like to know how long from the Veluwana to the Kapilavatthu city. So this is the current distance. That's from here as a Makata kingdom. To here, the Kapilavatthu. The current now is, people call it Palace of King Suddhodana or Kapilavatthu. So there's many different ways for the present day. Then from here to Kapilavatthu here at the Himalayan foothill, it's the shortest routes. It take around 11 hours, around 12 hours by car from here to there, and it's about 475 kilometers. So that means the Buddha, when he traveled from here and there, he just walk, So that's the reasonable why it's 2 months, from here and going to the Kapilavatthu. Okay, so when the Buddha arrived in the city, some of his relatives so still have the ideas and thought on the Buddha that, oh, he's our he's our relative, so we don't have to pay respect to him or pay homage to him. And so especially the older, they just sit in the backside, so they don't have to pay homage and pay respect to the Lord Buddha, because they thought that, oh, he's our grandson, he's younger, we don't have to pay respect to him, So because they're arrogant, that's okay. Oh, we are older, we don't have to pay respect to the one who is younger than us. So the Buddha knew that his relatives still have that arrogance. So Buddha then taught him to show his supernatural power to decrease, reduce their arrogance. So otherwise they would not be willing to listen to the Dhamma lecture and listen to the Dhamma with respect. So the Buddha showed his psychic power, so supernatural power, so to subdue, because subdued or decrease their arrogance. So the miracle that the Buddha showed them, so the Buddha went into the air, and caused the magic rain. Okay, do you know what's the magic rain? It's called?
Bokharapat.
So Bokhara. It's kind of special rain. So the color of the rain, what is the color of the rain?
Rain.
It's a red rain. It's like a blood, And this kind of rain it has something special. So what is the special thing about this red magic rain? Okay, have you ever heard about this kind of rain in the Buddha history? So what's special about this magic rain is that if anyone would like to get wet, that person will be wet by this rain. But if anyone doesn't want to, so that person will not get wet. So that is also the Buddha show his psychic power, so to subdue his relative. And then he taught all of his relatives, and he talking about the his previous life when he were when he practicing the Thana Balami. So when he was a prince named Prince Vesandara, พระเวสสันดร พระเวสสันดรา and he told the story and how he accumulate and sacrifice all the thing and donating the great white elephant, donate his wife, donate his son, So that is the teaching that he taught when he meet his relative. So the next morning, the Buddha also practiced his regular daily routine. So he went out and to collect food. And when people see, oh, their prince came to bake food, So people were surprised and the prince came to ask food from the people, And that's heard by the King Suddhodana. Oh, but the prince is baking foods outside in the village. Then the king came to the Buddha, and talked to the Buddha. Why you make me, I feel so bad seeing you baking food from the people. You are prince. Our family is high ranking or something. So you are son of mine. Why you make me embarrassing? So then the Buddha explained to the king that this is the Buddha, is a Buddha culture, is a Buddha tradition that all the Buddha have to practice. That is to baking food, collecting food for living. And the Buddha taught and telling the king the teaching, and the kings attained the Sotapanna and become the supreme enterer after hearing the teaching from the Lord Buddha. After the Buddha taught the teaching on going his arm around, that is Buddha routine and the Buddha culture. Okay, so this is the teaching. That's the King Suddhodana. So when he heard that, just a short teaching that the Buddha told him, he attained the Sotapanna, and he no longer forbade the Buddha to collect food again. So now the situation in the palace, the Buddha former wife, that's Princess Yasodhara. So Yasodhara is the only family, loyal family member that didn't want to see the Buddha when the Buddha arrived, because she felt small that, oh, my husband left me. He felt terrified that he couldn't see the Buddha, that he was abandoned by the Lord Buddha. Princess Yasodhara heard about the Lord Buddha visit, but she was still feeling very hurt and very sad. She had felt terribly rejected and embarrassed for having been abandoned by her husband 6 years ago. And the Buddha understood her feeling. And then the Buddha went to see her. And also he told the monk that do not stop if the Princess Yasodhara came and touched his feet, So if she was prevent from touching his feet, she will even more sad. Then when the Buddha arrived in the castle, she was crying and went to the Lord Buddha and hold her hand, hold the feet of the Buddha and put her head again to the Lord Buddha feet and keep crying, and still she faints, So when she to comfort the sadness of the princess Yasodhara, and the Buddha instruct her by teaching her and tell about the previous countless life when they were together once, when she was called a kind of half bird, half human, called Ginari. And when they were together, that how loyalty that she has on the Buddha, it's not only this life, but previous life. Princess Yasodhara also had a very strong loyalty to him. This life, even though the Buddha went out from the palace for 6 years, so she doesn't have anyone, and whatever the Buddha practiced, when she heard that the Buddha wear shelf-and robe, when she heard that the Buddha wear shelf-and robe, she also wear the shelf-and robe. And when she heard that the Buddha didn't sleep on the bed, she also didn't sleep on the bed, So that is how much loyalty that she has on the Lord Buddha. So the Buddha told this story about the Ginari, when they were together in the previous life. So that's called undying loyalty. That's how the Lord Buddha comfort her by instructing the story about the Ginari. Then Princess Yasodhara, when she was comforted by the Lord Buddha, her mind become calmer, calm, and can remove her small feeling and being ready to listen to the teaching. Then the Buddha teacher give a lecture and teaching, and finally she attained the fruit of Sotapanna, becoming the stream entler. So after that, the Princess Yasodhara, the next day, she saw the Buddha came out and collecting food, and point to her son, Prince Lahula, and told the Lahula, that is your father. Go and ask him for the worldly wealthy. So, and ask him some gift, So maybe he have something wealthy or gift for you. Then Prince Lahula went to the Lord Buddha, his father, and asked for a worldly property. Then the Buddha considered that Prince Lahula is supposed to have a not in the worldly treasure, but he should have the Dhamma, is something that's beyond to the material wealth. And the Buddha gave him the ordination, and he thought that the best, the suitable treasure that he would give to the Prince Lahula is the Dhamma, the ordination. And then Prince Siddhartha became a novice, first novice monk in Buddhism. And the Buddha led the Venerable Sariputta to ordain the Prince Rahula. So after Prince Rahula entered monkhood, the King Suddhodana was very bad that Prince Rahula again become a monk, so my son, now my grandson, so he worried who is going to be continuing the throne, so all of my son and my grandson already enter monkhood, so he was very sad and hearing that Prince Rahula already entered the monkhood, then he went to the Buddha and asked the Buddha, okay, next time if you going to ordain to any Gunla Buddha or any man, that you should ask their parent. So to ask their and let their parent allow first, then it will be better. So it's not going to cause any sadness to the parent. So then the Buddha lay down the rule that's anyone who are enter monkhood have to have the permission from the parent. Otherwise, that person cannot ordain. So in the ordination ceremony, the preceptor have to check. So if that's Gunla Buddha or the man doesn't have any we call permission from his parent, he will not allow to enter monkhood. It's come from this case. That's why becoming a monk, one of the very important requirement is that you have to have the permission from your parent. Okay, then another important situation happened in the Buddha family is about the story of Prince Nanda. Do you remember who is Prince Nanda? How his relationship with the Lord Buddha?
Younger brother of Lord Buddha and Pachabadi Gotami's son.
Pachabadi. They have the same father, right? Prince Nanda, King Suddhodana,
Same father,
but they
different mother.
have different mother. So he's a half brother of the Lord Buddha. Now, Prince Nanda, the interesting story about Prince Nanda is that at the day that when the Buddha staying in the Kapilavatthu city, Prince Nanda, he was about to have a wedding. He's going to marry with another princess. So the Buddha were invited to join the ceremony to have food in the wedding. So then the Buddha just pretend to forget his alms bowl in the Prince Nanda. So and Prince Nanda thought that maybe the Buddha forgot his alms bowl, and I would return the alms bowl to the Lord Buddha. Then he carry a alms bowl and follow the Buddha to return the Lord Buddha alms bowl. So the Buddha just keep silent and keep walking, going back to Nikotaram, which is outside of the city. And Nanda, with respect, he didn't say anything and just keep following the Lord Buddha on and on. And still they reach at the park, Nikotaram, where the Buddha is staying with the monk. And when they arrive at the Nikotaram, so the Buddha asked Nanda, would you be a monk? Would you enter a monk, Nanda? So with respect and on the Buddha, so the Prince Nanda unwillingly say yes. So which is he was about to get married, So and then the Prince Nanda became a monk. But he didn't enjoy and he wasn't happy, being a monk, living in the palace, and he always think of his fiance, he always think of his the prince, all the time. Oh, he couldn't meditate and practice his monk routine, and he told the Buddha that he would like to disrobe and go back to my fiance, So, and then the Buddha say, then the Buddha took him to the heaven. The Buddha took him to or the path along the way going to before the Buddha showed him the celestial lady in the heaven. So they passed by an ugly monkey, and the Buddha told him that keep this image of this poor monkey, in your mind. And now I'm going to show you what is the real beauty woman look like. And the Buddha took him to the Tawatingsa heaven. Tawatingsa is the second level of the heaven, So the Buddha showed that there's a painting of the celestial lady in the Tawatingsa heaven. So then the Buddha asked Nanda, Venerable Nanda at that time, now what do you think? These celestial lady and your Beyonce. And the Nanda now he know that there's someone who are more beautiful than his Beyonce. That's is comparable with his Beyonce, that these celestial beings so pretty and beautiful, and he would like to have this celestial lady to his wife. And when he was asked by the Buddha, he told her, my Beyonce now, comparing to her, she looked like that poor monkey. So then the Buddha told him that, okay, if you keep practicing your monk duty, practicing meditation, all of these celestial lady will belong to you. So it's like kind of a business. So it kind of conditioned, okay, if you practice meditation and continue keeping a monk, you will have all of this celestial lady. So when the Buddha and Prince Nanda came back, now the Venerable Nanda just intensively practice his meditation, try very hard to have those celestial lady. But she was annoyed by the monk, and came to him and always gossip to him that, Venerable Nanda, he intensively practiced meditation because he because he want to have those celestial being, celestial lady, not really to attain enlightenment or anything. So when he was annoyed and he would like to isolate himself, finally he asked the Buddha to isolate himself and practice meditation by his own. And finally he was able to attain the Arahantaship. So becoming Arahanta. So then she just forgot, all his Beyonces, and forgot all of those celestial lady, because now his mind became the arahanta mind. So that is the some important situation that's happened in the journey to Kapilavatthu. So this is in chapter chapter 10, the journey to Kapilavatthu. Okay, so does anyone have any question before we moving to the chapter 11 from this part? Or any point that you see maybe have other different point?
Karawaka Prajan, I have a question if I may ask.
Yes, Venerable.
It's about the fruit of Sotapanna or the stream enter. If Prajan can give a definition of what is this term actually meaning?
So stream antler is the first level of enlightenment, So in there are totally 10 mental defilement, according to the Buddhist concept that a person who are like ordinary people who has not attained enlightenment will have all of these 10, we call 10 mental defilements, which is the supreme antler will be able to eradicate 3 of these 10. So it's called Sangyod in Thai. So first, a person who attained the supreme antler, he will have the stable and strong faith on the triple chain. So you will not, that person will have no doubt in the Buddha, have no doubt in the teaching or Dharma, have no doubt in the Sangha or the community. So he will be very confident. Whatever nothing could change his mind to have faith on the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. So confident and very strong faith, So that's one of the quality of the enlightened, the supreme antler. And the second thing that will the quality that is he will not that person who attained the supreme antler will not break naturally will not break the 5 precepts. We call Silabbata Prama. It's not following the morality or following the precept with the blind faith. So the supreme antler will have no intention to kill by nature. Will not have the intention to steal by nature. As sexual misconduct, will not tell lie by nature, will not have intoxication by nature. So, and this is the second quality of the supreme stream antler. And the quality number 3 is he or she who attained the stream antler, or Sotapanna, will have the right view on self. So that person will see that there's no that ego, atta. So we'll see the first time of the enlightenment. It's like he's seeing the truth, like seeing the light or the thunder when it's dark. So you will not see the whole thing immediately. It's like you see the thing when it's lightning. So seeing the ultimate truth a moment. So that happened to the Sotapanna, the stream antler. So they are the second level we call Sakatakami. So that person will cut the rest of 7. And the Anakami, the third level, and Alahanda is complete, or we call the ultimate attain enlightenment. Yeah? So in detail, I think you can take a look on this in detail in the 4 different state of enlightenment in Buddhism. Yeah? And it relates to the Sangyojana, then how pure the mind of that person is. Yeah? And the purest mentality is the Arahanta, who no longer have greed, no longer have hatred, and no longer have that delusion. Yeah? But the stream antler is the first level. Yeah? Yeah. So the stream antler may look like a general people, and but their mind that's have strong faith in the Buddha and the Dhamma and the Sangha, unshakable, having faith on the triple chain. Sadhu. Okay, let's move on to chapter 11, the journey to Kosala kingdom. The Kosala kingdom is a very influential kingdom that's play a very important role in the propagating Buddhism. That's allowed the Buddhism to settle down by the help of the king, Kosala, who ruled the Kosala kingdom. So in this chapter, we going to exploring some situation that happened in the Kosala kingdom. Kosala kingdom is a very powerful kingdom that's ruled by a king, Kosala. So let me share maybe just another one. Okay, chapter 11, the journey to Kosala kingdom. Let us have some free tests in chapter 11. You may have known or heard about the situation that happened in the Buddha time. Who is the chief male lay Buddhist disciple of Buddhism? Lay ship. There are many, right?
Ananda Bintika.
So who the supporter, male lay supporter in the Buddha time? He's very well known when we talk about the supporter in the Buddha time. So he was a millionaire.
Ananda Bintika.
Ananda Pindika millionaire in the Kosala kingdom. So he's the one who support the Buddha and the monk help to propagate the teaching in the Kosala country. Who is the chief female lay disciple of Buddhism, lay female supporter.
Visakha.
So this,
Visakha.
so this is the lady who the main supporter and support the monk and the Buddha, the Buddha time. So Visakha, she is a daughter of the millionaire. So we're going to take a look and explore and how important, how they play important role in helping propagating the teaching of the Buddhism. Okay. So who is the there's some story that's mentioned about the Ananda Pindika millionaire. So in the city of Rajagaha, in the Rajagaha, a millionaire he has a friend, so he had a friend, and he regularly offering the Buddha alms, and he had a friend named Ananda Pindika. So at that time, Ananda Pindika, he had never met the Buddha, but his friend, also a millionaire, have already been the Buddha follower and always give alms to the Lord Buddha. And Ananda Pindika living in the city called Savatthi in the Kosala kingdom. So in Savatthi is one of the very important city. That's there are many stories that happening in this city. So later on I will show you some of the example or some story you may have heard about the story that happened in this city. Okay, so this is where Ananda Pindika staying in the city of Savatthi. So it is said that Ananda Pindika. So his former name is Sutatta. But because he liked to make a charity to the poor, so then he was called Anatha Pindika. Anatha Pindika means a poor person lump of rice, who have a lump of rice to give to the poor. So that is the meaning of the Anatha Pindika, the millionaire who give the lumps of rice to the poor. And so he always have that we call having the armory, and allowed the needy people and poor people come to take food, from him. And so the time that he met the Buddha, it happened when he went to visit his friend. So when he visits his friend, and he saw and he noticed his friend was busy preparing something, and it's like regularly welcome him as usual, So and he wondered at what are they doing? What is his friends doing? And then Ananda Pindika, so as his friend, that's what happening. So what are you doing? So are you doing and preparing for waiting for any special event or any fest or anything for the king or someone? He wondered that his friend keep preparing a thing for certain kind of event. Then his friend, the Rajakaha millionaire, told him that he will going to invite the Buddha and the Buddha disciple to have food on his house. So he was busy to preparing stuff to welcome the Buddha to have the meal in his house. And when he heard that his friend preparing the food for the Buddha, so it's his first time to heard the word Buddha, and he have never heard the term Buddha or the name Buddha before. So he was very overwhelmed and joined, only heard the word Buddha, So that's a person who have accumulates, we call merit. Even only never seen, he have never seen the Buddha, he have never met him before, but it's the first time heard the term Buddha. And that's what him felt very joyful and very delight. And so he asked his bride, we call wife brother, to repeat that word for 3 times. The Buddha. So then he joined is very overwhelmed that he would like to see the Buddha immediately, but it's already a nighttime. So that's caught him not to be able to sleep, because that joins and too much that he would like to see the Buddha in that very night, So at that night, his friend just told him that, okay, so now already dark and it's nighttime. It's not really proper to see the Buddha at this time. So wait until tomorrow daytime, you can go and see the Buddha. But because he joined this so much overwhelmed that he couldn't wait. So he just went to see the Buddha at night. So luckily he met the Buddha. And it's still dark at that time, but he had a chance to meet the Buddha. Then the Buddha taught him, same like a lecture that he taught to the Yasa. So the Buddha taught the Anapindika, the teaching, the topic, the lecture called Anupupik Katha. So, which is the Buddha always give a lecture on this teaching to the lay person. And the millionaire, Anatta, attained the Sotapanna, Sotapanna, the fruit of Sotapanna, and became the devotee who take the Buddha and the Dharma and the Sangha as refuge. So this is a person who attained Sotapanna. So they will have no doubt in the Buddha and the Dharma and the Sangha, but still have that's we call kilesa. Is not completely eradicated from the mind, but their faith will not shakable in the triple chain. And the person who attained the Sotapanna, we call this person who attained the Sotapanna will not reborn in the lower the lower suffering state of realm. So a person who attains Sotapanna will not reborn as a hungry ghost, as a monster or animal, or reborn in hell. And the Sotapanna will rebirth if they cannot attain enlightenment, complete enlightenment this life, they will rebirth the maximum 7 times. But it's guaranteed that a person will not reborn in the suffering world again. So he will travel and rebirth only in the heaven, a human, and maybe a Brahma heaven only. So this is the quality of the Sotapanna, who attained the Sotapanna. Invitation to Savatthi. So then the millionaire Anatta Pindika invite the Lord Buddha to go to Savatthi. So once the food offer was over at the Lajagaha millionaire house, Anatta Pindika invite the Lord Buddha and his disciple to come and stay in the city of Savatthi in the kingdom of Kosala. And the Lord Buddha accept his invitation. So after invitation, the millionaire consider that, oh, when the Buddha arrived at Savatthi, where should he stay? So it's come to be the another important Buddhist monastery in the Buddha time. Now, then the Anathapindika consider that one of the very suitable place to allow the Buddha to stay is a park that belonged to a prince named Jeda, a Jeda prince. He had that very serene and very quiet and very peaceful park, which is Anathapindika. The millionaire thought that this is the most suitable place to allow the Buddha and the monk to stay. Then Anathapindika would like to buy this land, this area, and offer to the Lord Buddha. But Prince Cheda, he didn't want to sell this area to anyone. Then he told the millionaire, Anathapindika, that okay, so if you could place, replace all the land in this land into gold, with the gold, I will sell for you, and that is the cost of this land, So, but the Anathapindika have that strong faith because he was very rich, and he sell all of his stuff and turn it to gold and place, all the area in the in this park that belong to Jeda. So then the Jeda was surprised that, oh, how could that be that a person can buy and want to buy this land in order to donate to the Buddha, So then the Jeda finally accept the Anathapindika request, and he would sell to the prince to Anathapindika, but with the condition that the name of the temple, especially the entrance of the temple, have to be still belong to him, and the millionaire have to put his name for this temple. So the temple was called Jedawana Temple, which is the name of the prince. So that is another important monastery in the Buddha time, that Jedawana is a temple that donate and offer by Anathapindika. So the first monastery is Veluwana, offered by King Bimbisara. So this is the temple and Buddhist monastery in the Buddha time, called Jedawana, that offered by Anathapindika. And this is the present day how Jedawana look like. So this is a historical place in Savatthi city in India. So if you have a chance to visit India, you can see this Buddhist historical site. So this is one of the most important monastery that the Buddha spent most of his time staying in this temple. So throughout 45 years of propagating the teaching, he spent staying in this temple for 19 years, 19 vassa, which is the longest temple that the Buddha stayed for 19 years. So the other place he just traveled. Some temple, some place, and some city he just stayed for 3 years or 5 years. And this temple, this monastery, is the longest periods of time that the Buddha spent his life on propagating the teaching. So this is the current the Ananda Bodhi tree, Ananda Bodhi tree. So this is the current place that's in the Jedawana monastery. So this is a place the Buddha, we call the Buddha where the Buddha dwelling, where he stay in the monastery. We call it Kanthakudi, the Buddha hut. So where the Buddha he's staying multiple times in the hut in the temple. Okay, another important Buddhist supporter in the Buddha time, and the female lay supporter is a Visakha. So Visakha, so she sometimes also called Visakha Mikhatha Mata. So why she got that name? Because the once she got married with the son of another millionaire, So and the father of her husband, well, didn't like the Buddha, and she converts his how to say the father-in-law to be a faithful Buddhist, So and the name of the millionaire is called Mikara. So then she will call that she is the mother of the Mikara millionaire. So Visakha, the lady who offer another important Buddhist temple in the Buddha time, and the temple called the Buparam temple. Is another Buparam temple, also another important temple, and that's the Buddha staying and teaching. So how come of this temple? The temple is come from once when Visakha went to see the Lord Buddha and she forgot her jewelry. Then the Venerable Ananda kept that jewelry. So when she knew that the jewelry already been touched by Venerable Ananda, and she would not have it back, and he would like to donate to the temple. So then he sold that jewelry and used that money to build the temple and offer to the Buddha. And after he sold her jewelry already, so she built the temple. It said that there are 5 there are 10 that the 1,000 room. There's a two floor, as the first floor and second floor, and the first floor there are 1,000 floor, 1,000 room, and the second floor there also 1,000 room. So that means it's quite a very big temple that she built to support the monk and the Buddha disciple. Okay, so in the Savatthi, while the Buddha is staying in the Savatthi, the story of Anathapindika and the story of the Visakha, there also a story of the Angulimala. So it also happened in this city, in Savatthi, in Kosala Kingdom. So I believe that for those who have learned or studied about Buddhist teaching, I think Angulimala is one of the very well known in teaching. So I heard about this story since I was very young. So Angulimala is the story about a murderer become a monk. So Angulimala used to be a very obedient student, in the school, but he was misguided by the wrong view teacher. You know? And his teacher told him that, okay, you go, in order to finish your subject, you have to go and kill and take people's finger. And at least you have to collect 1,000 finger, then you can finish, and you can finish the school, you know. Otherwise, you have to go back as a failure. And Angulimala, first he thought that this is not a good thing, but because he's so much faith on his teacher and very respect his teacher, you know, he has to follow his teacher advice, and he started to kill people, and still he could collect 999 finger. You know? He's very strong. He's very powerful. One of the greatest student in the school. And after he collect 999 finger, and there's only one left. And his mother heard that, oh, the Angulimala, the murderer that's killing people out there, is my son. I have to go and tell him that now the king is sending the soldier to kill him. So with love, you know, the mother went to Angulimala, and Angulimala, when he saw that, oh, this my last victim, and he also knew that this is his mom, so he almost killed his own mother. But the Buddha luckily saw, and he every morning the Buddha will check that anyone who could attain enlightenment, and Angulimala came into his meditation, and then he saw that Angulimala have accumulate the having perfect parami, perfection to achieve enlightenment. Then the Buddha thought that if he commit to take his mother's life, he will not have a chance to attain enlightenment. And the Buddha went there, and Angulimala turned his intention. Instead of killing his mom, but now he changed his mind to take the Buddha life. And he followed the Buddha, and the Buddha used his psychic power, walk like an ordinary, normally walking. And Angulimala used all of his power, run as fast as he can to catch the Buddha and take the Buddha life. But the faster he ran, the farther the Buddha. So until he felt very tired, and he couldn't catch the Buddha. Then he shouts to the Buddha, "Stop, monk." And the Buddha replied to him that, "I already stopped, but you is the one who's not stopping." And then Angulimala gets frustrated, annoyed that why this monk keep walking and say that he is stop. So then he shout to the Lord Buddha that everyone could see that now you're walking. How could you say that you're stopped? I'm the one who already stopped. And you are the monk while you're telling lie. Then the Buddha told him, I stopped from killing. I stopped from taking life. So that means I completely stopped from harming living being. But it's that you not stopping, keeping killing people. So with that short teaching, it's record the Angulimala awareness, seeing his on his hand carrying a knife. He used to be a very good person, a very good boy when he was young, but he misguided by his teacher and become a murderer. So then the Angulimala asked the Buddha to become a monk. So after became a monk, he intensively practiced meditation. But because of his formal karma, every time when he go and collect food, sometimes he didn't have food because people were afraid and fear. And sometimes he was hurt by people. So were hit, and were hit by rock, by wood, because he have killed so many people when he go to the village. But later on, with his effort and intensive practice, he was able to attain the arahanthood. And he said that a person who used to be bad, but now he changed his mind and become and following the right path. That person is we call the noble. It's like a moon that's covered by the crown, the darkness. So when the cloud gone away, the moon is bright again. So similar, this is one of the greatest story that's happened in the Savatthi, in the Kosala kingdom. Sign. Okay, so another important story that's you may have heard, that is the story of Gisa, Gotami, and the Mata seed. This story also happened in the Savatthi, in Savatthi city, in Kosala kingdom. It's a story about one lady who her son is seriously sick and ill, and eventually her son's dead. And she was stricken by sorrow and sadness, and she couldn't accept that her son already died, and she just misunderstood that her son just sick, and carry her son and asking people to recover his son. But no one could really help her how to bring his son back to life. So because everybody know that her son already died. And she met one of the Buddha, the monk, the Buddha disciple, and the monk suggested to go to see the Buddha. So she brought her son to the Buddha and asked the Buddha, begged the Buddha to help her son. So then the Buddha taught her by telling the Gisa Gotami and the lady to find a mata seed, with the condition that she has to find the seed from any family that's no one died. Then Gisa Gotami start asking people the mata seeds, from house to house, and every house. Unfortunately, she couldn't get any mata seed, because every house that she went to ask, there's somebody, their beloved in the family died. And she understand that death is happened to all family, and every family losing their beloved one. So some family, their son, their grandfather, so every family and culture that's losing beloved one. Then that's the Buddha, the Buddha helped Gisa Gotami to discover by herself, to overcome her sadness. So when her sadness slightly fade away, so that's lamentation and sadness turn into wisdom. So in this case, it's showing that the suffering can be replaced by wisdom. When a person have wisdom, seeing the truth, accepting the truth, it happened to that person, sorrow, lamentation will gone away. And her mind free from sorrow and sadness and grief, and accept that her son already passed away. So she buried her son and placed the flower on the grave of her son, and he saw that the flower in the morning is very fresh. And from day and still night, the flowers slightly decline. So seeing that her mind flee from defilement, and she attained the Sotapanna and asked the Buddha to become a monk. After becoming a monk, she intensively practiced meditation, and finally she was able to attain arahanthood and become one of the we call enlightened Buddha follower in the Buddha time. So this story also happened in the Savatthi. There are also many other story that I haven't brought here. And so like in the situation that the Buddha encountered the drunken elephant, and also when the Tewatatta, the bad monk that's trying to take the Buddha life, he trying to. They also happened in this Kosala kingdom in Savatthi. And these are the overall in the chapter 11. So from this chapter, anyone have any question? So a couple week we will have only two more chapter, chapter 12 and chapter 13. It's going to be the last and final session of the life of the Buddha. We're going to take a look at the one of the very important sutra is called the Mahaparinibbana Sutra. So that is a long discourse in the teaching of the Buddha, the telling the situation before the Buddha passed away and the important message that he laid down, gave to the monk, that what's the monk should do after he passed away. So we're going to take a look at the rest chapter 12 and 13. Okay. So okay, so if no question, so let us pay homage to the triple gem together. Arahang Samma Sambuddho Bhagava Buddhang Bhagavantang Abhivatemi Sawakhato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang Namasami Supatipanno Bhagavato Sawaka Sangho Sanghang Namami. Okay, see you.
ขอบพระคุณค่ะนมัสการค่ะ
Thank you, Lompi. Lompi, just to double confirm, so next week we will start at 3 p.m.
Um,
Oh, sorry, 2 p.m.
is it possible to attend the class earlier? No? Or maybe next week I'm going to be we're going to have a meditation retreat, and in the next week it's going to be second.
Yeah, 2nd of November.
2nd of November. Okay, so I think in the afternoon, I'm free actually. Can we start earlier then?
Yeah.
Yes.
So when is a good time for us? What do you think? Anyone join the class?
If we want to take back the same, because originally we have the Lompi
Vinaya.
Vinaya. Yeah. So,
1 o'clock
yes.
we can start from 1 o'clock onward.
Yeah.
Everybody agree? 1 o'clock. So we take over the Vinaya
Yes.
class. Okay.
We take over.
So we have.
If we are not too tired, we can take a break to continue a little bit more, so that it will not be like until this timing. So maybe instead of 1.5 hour session, maybe we can have 2.5, or then have a break in between. Since this originally we will have 1.5 break, 15 minutes, 1.5. So you can have 1 hour break, then another hour or so. So you can complete your entire subject.
Okay.
Because if it's the Buddha story, the entire, I think it will be too heavy for us. I don't know. I feel a bit too heavy.
Okay, that's good. Ne? So thank you very much. Ne? Okay,
I don't know
so
the rest.
we
I don't know the rest agree or not.
so
For
we
me, history of Buddha is like fairy tale.
Yeah, that's right.
Very enjoyable.
Okay. It's like a story. Actually, you can take a look more some detail in the books, you know. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
like the story of Tewatata, I haven't put in
Yes.
this slide, but in the book you can take a look and yourself, man. All right. So see you next week, Nas.
Okay.
Everybody agree at 1. Okay, we'll start
Yes.
the class next week. Okay.
Okay,
All
thank
right.
you.
Take care, everyone. See
Thank
you.
Thank
you
you,
so
Long
much.
Pi.
Yeah.
Take care.
Thank you.
รัก
Bye-bye.
กันจ้า Bye bye.